Breathing. Begin by resting calmly on the floor, taking some nice deep breaths in and out. If you need to bring your knees up and keep your feet flat on the floor, you can. Take 5 to 10 deep breaths. Now gently press your left knee against your hands. Just a little bit of strength, but not a lot of movement. Hold this pressure for 5 seconds and then relax. Bring your knee closer to your chest and repeat this sequence 5 times. Gently press your knee against your hands. Hold for 5 seconds. Relax and pull your knee to your chest. Now switch. Bring your right knee up. Wrap your hands around your knees and gently bring it to your chest. Gently press your knee against your hands. Hold for 5 seconds. Relax and pull your knee to your chest. And repeat 5 times. With your arms out to the side, take your left leg and cross it over to the right side, reaching as far as you can with your left foot while keeping your left hand on the floor. Now with your right hand, try to reach for your left foot, bend forward and keeping your hands and your legs on the ground, and hold this reach. Now begin moving away from your foot and towards your foot in a gentle oscillation movement back and forth as demonstrated. The slow, deliberate movements back and forth is specific for fascial stretching. Now we switch, bringing the right foot crossing over the left leg. Remember, try to keep the right arm as close to the floor as possible. Now reach with your left hand towards your right foot. Now begin to move your right leg and your left arm back and forth towards each other, slowly but deliberately increasing the range of movement of the arms and the leg. Now we do the diaphragm stretch. Bring your knees up, feet flat on the floor, your fingers gently pressing underneath both ribs. You do not have to press too hard, but as you gently press upward underneath your ribs, then just take some deep breaths in and out into your fingers. Now we add some lumbar flattening, where we gently press our lumbars towards the floor with a gentle posterior pelvic tilt, and then an anterior tilt, lifting your lumbars off the floor and moving back and forth in another oscillation movement. The ability to do lumbar flattening, particularly to flatten the lumbars against the floor and hold it, will play a key role in some of the following exercises. The floor angel works on the thoracodorsal fascia, which is a band of fascia that connects the upper extremity to the hips. While relaxed as shown, slowly raise your arms over your head, but do not let any part of your arms lift off the floor. If your hands rise off the floor before they get completely overhead, that tells you your upper limit of tightness. Don't go beyond that right now, but slowly return your arms back to your side and keep raising your arms up to that limit, trying to go just a little bit further before your arms rise off the floor. As you raise your arm and get to the limits, you can stay there and gently oscillate or move up and down just slightly, as this will help stretch the fascia. With each gentle oscillating and moving back and forth, you can get your hands closer and closer towards each other while keeping your arms on the floor and getting yourself closer and closer so your hands can reach over your head. Don't worry if you can't do this on the first try. That's why we do fascia mobility on a regular basis. Now try the floor angel while doing lumbar flattening. That is, put your hands to your side, flatten your lumbars so that your lumbars are touching the floor, and then do the floor angel. This is another way to challenge your thoracodorsal fascia mobility. In this case, do not let your arms keep rising when your lumbars lift off the floor. Don't let your lumbars leave the floor, and don't let your arms lift off the floor either. Now we're going to challenge the thoracodorsal fascia through overhead arm movement. Raise your arms forward and overhead, and can you get your arms completely flat on the floor? Not just the hands, but your whole arms flat against the floor. When you get to that upper limit of tightness, you can oscillate your arms back and forth gently, which gives a good mobilization of the thoracodorsal fascia that can allow the arms to stretch just a little bit further. Now add lumbar flattening while you're doing the overhead reach. If your lumbars lift off the floor, stop reaching overhead and return to neutral. Another technique is to let your arms hang overhead as far as they'll reach, and then do some oscillation of the lumbars. Anterior pelvic tilt, posterior tilt, just lifting and flattening your lumbars several times. As you do this, you may find that your arms get closer and closer to the floor. Now we combine overhead flexion movement with the floor angel. Now we do the overhead flexion, floor angel with lumbar flattening. Keep the lumbars close to the floor as you do in the entire arm movement. Now we do a simple neck stretch. Place your fingers behind your head and gently stretch your neck forward. Let your pull gently stretch the posterior neck muscles. Now add lumbar flattening to the neck stretch. You can move the lumbars up and down off the floor while holding the stretch, or you can do lumbar flattening and hold it and maintain the gentle stretch on your neck. Now proceed to roll onto your right side, and we're going to be stretching the left top leg. Grab the heel and gently pull as far as the tissue will allow. Now we're going to do a movement exercise, oscillating back and forth, where we curl forward and pull backwards. With each curl and pull, allow the tissues to relax and follow the stretch a little bit further. Now allow the top leg to reach backwards as far as you can, and take your left arm and reach it overhead as far as you can, and hold this stretch. Now roll onto your left, and we'll work on the right side of the body. Grab your right heel with your right hand and gently pull your hip backwards. Now curl your body forward and extend it backwards as easily as you can. Keep slowly moving this back and forth. Now allow your top leg to reach backwards as far as possible, and take your right arm and reach it overhead, and hold this stretch. Now roll onto your stomach. Keep your left arm overhead, right arm to your side. Turn your face facing to the right. Now lift your left foot in the air and try to reach it over your right leg. Reach as far as you can. If the furthest you can reach is just next to the right foot, that's okay. The goal is to eventually get your left foot to be able to reach as far across over your right side of your body as possible. Now begin to move your left foot back and forth from neutral to across your body as demonstrated. And to keep your left arm on the floor as your foot is reaching across your body. Now we switch, and we're going to move the right arm overhead, left arm to our side, facing to the left, and we lift our right foot up and cross it over our left leg. As you continue to reach your right foot across your body, keep your right hand touching the floor. Now add a gentle movement of the right foot back to neutral, and then cross it back over the left side, and keep doing this movement back and forth. Now we proceed to chest rises. Put your hands underneath your shoulders and push up your chest off the floor as high as you can go. Try to get as much arch in your back as you can while keeping your hips grounded on the floor. Now we add a gentle head nod to the chest rise. It's not unusual if you feel a little bit dizzy doing this movement. Just stop and rest. Now we add a little chest rotation to the right and then to the left. Keep going back and forth, right and left. Now we move into upper thoracic mobilization, also called the child's pose. Keep your hands reaching as far above your head as possible while trying to get your buttocks as close to your heels as possible. Now we add a gentle head nod to the child's pose. Now we add a gentle bounce, trying to get our buttocks just a little bit closer to our heels. Now we take our right hand and reach it over to our left side. Now we add a little bounce to the child's pose with the right hand reach. Now we do a left hand reach. And now we do a left hand reach with a slight bounce. Now we do a forearm fascial stretch. Turn your hand outwards as far as you can. Try to get your palms against the floor and gently press into your palms. Now we add a gentle head nod to the forearm stretch. Now add some reverse lumbar flattening, which is trying to push your spine up into the air and then return to neutral while nodding your head. Now rotate your fingers forward and we're going to move into the A frame. Raise up on your hands and toes. Push your heels towards the floor, but they should not be touching the floor. Now add a gentle bounce, pushing your heels towards the floor and then returning to the starting position. Now we transition from the A frame to the C shape and back. A frame, C shape. Now we get on our hands and knees and we begin lumbar flattening, but in the reverse manner, pushing our spine towards the ceiling, then lowering it to the floor. Now we move to the donkey kicks and curls, starting with the right leg. Kick the right leg up into the air and bring the knees to the chest and repeat. Now we proceed with donkey kicks and curls on the left leg, up into the air, then bring it to the chest and repeat. Now donkey kicks and elbow touches. Bring your right knee to your left elbow, then lift your left elbow and right knee up in the air and repeat. Now we switch. Left leg in the air, right elbow in the air, and then left knee and right elbow touch. Now we proceed to left arm reaches. Take your left arm, reach it underneath your chest, reach towards the right side, and bend your head down to the floor to continue the reach. Now we add a gentle bounce where we have the arm return to neutral and then reach and repeat. Now we have the right arm reach. Underneath your chest, bring your head to the floor and hold the stretch. Now add a slight bounce to the right arm reach, return to neutral, reach underneath, return to neutral, and repeat. Now we do coordinated crawling. Lifting your right knee and your left hand, slowly move forward, and then lift your right hand and left knee, and keep moving in this coordinated pattern for 5 or 6 steps. Now begin crawling backwards with the same coordinated movement. Continue the forward and backward crawling 5 times. Now transition and put your right foot forward, leave your left foot back, move your left foot a little bit outward, and now we're going to gently glide forward and we're going to stretch out the left hip. Keeping your back straight, gently glide forward until you meet resistance or you start to develop a small arch in your low back. At that point, you hold the stretch. Now add a gentle bounce where you glide forward a little bit further, bending at the right knee, returning back to a slightly neutral position. Be sure you keep your back straight and your hip gliding forward. In here, you can see that I add a slight bounce to this. Now I'll take my right hand, reach over my head, and take my left hand, grab the elbow of my right side, and give a little traction to stretch my upper body on the right side. And here, I do the same movement, but now add a little bounce. Now right hip mobility, place the left foot in front, right knee on the ground, right foot slightly outward, keeping your back straight, gently glide forward. Continue gliding forward till you feel a tightness in your hip or a slight arch in your low back. Now you add a slight bounce, gliding forward, putting a bend in your left knee, but still keeping your back straight. Now place your left hand behind your neck, take your right hand and gently tug on your elbow to give a nice little stretch. Now add a gentle bounce while keeping your back straight and a gentle tug on your left elbow. Now stand up with your left foot forward, right foot back, and we're going to rotate over the left leg and hug our hips and hold this position. Now we proceed to do individual twists where we return to neutral, then rotate over the left leg and hug the hips. Now we add body swings where we don't hold the twist, but we just return to neutral, swing over the left leg, return to neutral, swing over the left leg. Now point the toes forward, and we're going to repeat. Twist the body over the left leg and hug the hips and hold. Now we do the individual twists where we rotate over the left leg, hug the hips, then return to neutral, rotate over the left leg, hug the hips, return to neutral. Now we do body swings, rotating over the left leg, returning to neutral. Now place the left foot forward, right foot back, as if in a walking stance. And then we do hip hugs over the left leg. Now we add the individual twists. Swing over the left leg, hug the hips, return to neutral. Now we do the body swings, where we swing gently over the left leg, return to neutral. Now we switch feet, right foot forward, left foot back, and now we do hip hugs over the right leg. Then we proceed to do individual body twists over the right leg. Now we do body swings over the right leg in one continuous movement. Now spread your feet wide apart, and we'll be doing hip hugs to the right. Now we'll do body twists over the right leg. And then we proceed to do body swings over the right leg. Now reposition your feet facing towards the right. Then twist your upper body over your right leg, hugging your hips. Now add a single twist, then hold, then repeat the twist and hold. Now start swinging in one fluid movement. Now with your feet shoulder width apart, do some gentle full body swings. Now place your right foot forward and do large arm swings. Now switch to full body swings. Now pull your right hand back, left hand forward, and start do stationary walking. Swing your right foot forward, let it touch the front floor, then come on back as if you're walking. Now can you transition to keep swinging the left leg and not have it touch the floor? Requires a lot of balance. Now left foot forward, right foot back. Start doing large arm swings. Now transition into body swings. Now bring your left hand back, right hand forward, and as if beginning to walk, swing your right foot forward to touch the floor and bring it back. And continue to repeat this movement. Now proceed to swing the right leg without touching the floor. Now do some simple bouncing, raising your heels off the floor a few times and then rest. Raise your heels off the floor, then rest. Now do continuous heel raises, letting your arms be as loose as possible. Now proceed to doing hopping, some gentle hopping up and down continuously. Now we're doing the hardest move, the body crane. Grab your right foot into your hand. So obviously you're going to have to maintain your balance. Then straighten up your spine as if you're trying to improve your posture. Now raise your left arm in the air as high as possible while maintaining good posture. Now can you start swinging your left arm while maintaining your balance in good posture? Now bending at the hip, reach for your left foot. If you lose balance, get back into the position and resume where you left off. While maintaining your balance, just gently rock back and forth until you can try to reach your toes. To assist reaching the floor, I'll bend my left knee, and then when I reach the floor, I'll straighten my left knee while trying to keep my hands still touching the floor. I then proceed to do some deep squats. Now hold still and reach your left hand out in front of you. Try to be as flat as possible. Now, try it on the other side. Grab your left foot and then straighten up your spine. Try to give yourself a good posture. Reach your right arm overhead. Now begin swinging your right arm. Now reach down and try to touch the floor. If you need assistance, you can squat with your right knee to bring yourself a little bit closer to the floor. If you lose balance, get back up and try again. To help you reach the floor, you can squat a little bit with your right knee. Then you can repeat the squats several times to improve the strength and balance. Now with your right hand, reach out and try to pull your foot up towards you and be as straight as possible. Now this is something that I'm still working on as well. Now I think I got it. Yep, I've got it for just a little bit at least. Keep working at it.